If you have ever felt that in a team meeting, you have loads and loads of ideas to share, but for some reason, you are not able to share. If you try to share, either you go blank or you get scared or you are worried that what will other think. This is majorly happening because you are using your meetings as practice platform and not as a performance platform. Now, if you've ever been in this situation, then the next 15 minutes are exclusively for you. I'm going to share something that is so powerful that can literally change the way you approach meetings. First, let's understand what's happening when you are sitting in the meeting. All of a sudden, the meeting is being called and the discussion gets started. Someone asks, saying that this month's performance is not that great. What we all should do? Share ideas. Let's come up with a plan. Well, you have a fantastic idea in your mind and you want to share that. By the time you share, everyone feels like we kind of understand, but we're not sure. Or, worst part, you feel that what if others judge me? What if I'm wrong? What if I make grammatical mistakes? What if my English is not right? And you completely stop yourself from sharing. Or probably you are sharing and you go blank in the middle. Or you are also scared that if you share an idea, maybe they'll ask a cross question, and what if you don't know the answer? Or you are also worried that if you share an idea, just because the idea is amazing, everyone wants that to be implemented, what will happen? They will tell you to implement. So you don't want extra load of work. You don't want you to do everything else, right? And that is the major reason you are not speaking in the meeting. Now let's understand what is this doing to us. First, no matter what is the reason for not speaking in the meeting, you need to understand that your visibility is at stake, especially if the meeting is a high stake meeting where you have people who has the authority to promote you. Your visibility is at stake. You keep quiet, nobody is going to notice you. And when things go tough, you might be in the firing line. Now let's understand what happens when you speak. And we'll break those challenges one at a time. And I also am going to give you something more powerful where you can articulate your thoughts so powerfully and confidently where everyone will feel that you are the best person to solve this problem and they will trust you. First, let's solve problems such as I have the idea and I know what to do, but I'm scared to speak because I think my English is not good. I think my grammar is not good. I think my pronunciation and accent is not good. I might make mistakes. I might go blank. People might judge me, and I'm not ready for that. If this is your problem, then all you need to do is you need to understand that meetings are not a practice platform, which most of us are doing right now. We speak only in the meetings. There are no other opportunities for us to speak. So you have no idea what is your speech capacity, how well do you speak, where do you need improvement, what are the fine tunings, what are the feedbacks. You have no idea. You just go into the meeting and you consider that, okay, I got an opportunity to speak, let me speak. That's not how it works, because meetings are a performance stage. Every word you say over there are getting judged, and that's the fact. I'm not denying that. If you are scared that, oh my God, if I say something, I'll get judged, yes, you are getting judged every single time when you are with the other people. It is human nature, it is natural. There's nothing to be worried about if you know how to navigate through this process. So instead of considering that I will practice my speech in the meeting, I will practice how I have to use my whatever I learned about English or words, vocabularies in the meeting, then that's when things get difficult because you're getting judged over there. So, in order to avoid this, in order to make meetings as a performance stage where you are displaying your authentic version in a most impactful way in the meeting. That's how meeting should be. In order to make it happen, we are going to create a practice platform for us where you can make as many mistakes as possible. You can correct it, work on it, practice it. And this platform is absolutely for free. You don't have to pay a single penny. In fact, you all you need is a Google account so that you can sign up. In fact, you are already using this platform, just that you need a customized version of it, right? And then 10 minutes a day. That's all you need in order to become impactful in meeting. And that platform is ChatGPT. And here I'm going to show you a custom GPT where I designed it exclusively for this one task, where you will share your idea. The GPT will refine it and give it back to you. You are going to read it and get your confidence back. So, most of the time when you are speaking, it's not just about whether your grammar will be good, English will be good. You are also worried about, am I making the right sentence? Am I using right vocabularies? Am I making sense? Is it creating an impact, right? In order to solve all those problems, this one GPT is what we are going to use. So let me share my screen and let me show it to you. I will also leave the link in the caption, description, comments. You can find that out. So here we go. When you open the link that I have just given, you will see a screen like this. It will say that the 7-day meeting confidence challenge. Okay. Now here, there are multiple options. You can choose anything that you want. Feel free to explore. But this is how I would want you to start first. First, you can just type hi. And you will get a response that says, what's your name, profession, and current position? So I'm just giving, I am Yogeswari and a customer success manager. Okay. And then it will give you a topic. Nice to meet you, Yogeshwari. Let's start with simple realistic meeting situation. It gives you a scenario. Okay. A customer has recently complained about repeated delays in getting support from your team. Now, this is the scenario. This scenario is being discussed in the meeting. And you're going to share your thoughts, your opinion on it. Okay. So you don't have to give a perfect answer. You don't have to worry about your grammar, English, and anything. You just have to share what you think. And then you just have to understand that you're speaking to a colleague. Okay. So I'll just try my version of it. Let's see. The if the customer is complaining that there are delays in getting support from the team, then I think we have to first understand what is the real reason for the delay. Is the reason for the delay is all about lack of manpower, or is it about some sort of challenges in the process, or are we getting too many complaints? Is there a problem in the product? So we first have to analyze the root cause of the issue, which is the delay. And then after analyzing that, then we have to understand or carve out a solution to face the issue or solve the issue. So if the issue is related to lack of manpower, then we need more trained individuals to take care customer support, or we can understand if there are any tools. I think there's a tool called CRM that helps in challenge handling the customer complaints, and also it is good in processing and in um, in understanding and analyzing, so we can use that. Or if the challenge is related to the process, I think we can revisit the process and fix the gap. Or if it is related to the product, I think we need to solve the challenges in the product, and we need to have a cross communication with the product team. Now here, if you see, I deliberately used a lot of fillers, and I deliberately repeated a lot of sentences, because this is how our brain thinks. And this is how our brain functions when you don't give time to structure your thoughts, right? So I didn't structure my thoughts. I just spoke while thinking. This is what happens when you speak and think at the same time. Usually, you should think first, structure your ideas, and then speak. That's how it is. That's how it's done. Now, in this part, I deliberately kept myself, told myself that I don't know anything. I've never spoken in the meeting. I'm so scared. I'm just practicing and I want to improve. How would I speak? Obviously, I'll not be so perfect, right? I'll make mistakes. I'll fumble. I'll go blank, and that's absolutely okay. Now, once you click the microphone, you speak, and it gets into a text format, hit the arrow button and send it. Now you will get a next set of response, which is, it says that was strong first response and clear thinking. Do not jump to solution before. Good. Now here it has given a properly structured meeting response. All I need to do is I need to understand what are the next things that I have to do. What do I have? I have a focus on finding the root cause, and then I consider several realistic causes, and then I connect the possible causes to specific action. Now, what are the things that I need to improve? We need to improve the main point. We need to group the possibilities, and we need to end with specific recommendations. And here it is telling, now read this version out loud in the micro. Now, this is an updated version of my response, and it is telling me to read it out loud in the microphone. Let me do that. I think the first thing we need to understand is the root cause of the support delays before deciding on a solution. For example, we should look at whether the issue is due to a lack of manpower, a gap in our support system, an increase in the number of complaints, or possibly a product related issue. Once we understand where the delay is coming from, we can take the right action. If it's a manpower issue, we may need additional trained resources or better ways to manage the workload. We could also look at whether our CRM or other support tools can help us prioritize and track customer issues more effectively. If the problem is with the process, I would suggest reviewing the current workflow and identifying where the bottleneck is. And if the delays are being caused by product issues, then I think we need to work closely with the product team to address those issues. So my recommendation would be to first analyze the root cause and identify the biggest bottleneck, and then take a targeted action rather than applying one solution to all causes. So now I read whatever response I received, and I'm going to send that. Now, if you see, compared to the response that I gave, I just randomly spoke, right? Compared to the response that I gave, this is more optimized and more structured. It starts with the major point, which is identify the root cause first. That's the major point. And then it puts the three possibilities that I gave into one sentence without any gap or any unnecessary fillers. And then it is telling if what is the solution for these three causes. And then ending with stressing the main point, which is identifying the root cause first, right? So I read, let me see the response. It says, excellent, this version, good, and there's a clear opening. Now, it also gives a small improvement. The improvement is instead of rather than applying one solution to all, say rather than applying one solution to every cases. Sounds more natural in a meeting. Okay, so is that how? To all cases, fine. So it is giving some random suggestions. You don't have to worry about it. You just have to read it out loud, majorly because when you think on your own without learning the techniques of structuring your speech, without having the practice of using the vocabularies that you always wanted to use, all of a sudden, if you are put under pressure, you can't speak the way you want. And that is a major reason you go blank, you fumble, you get scared. And that is again creating a negative impact where next time you don't even speak. We are breaking that pattern and we are creating a simple, easy, free solution that is creating a low pressure environment for us. This every day, 10 minutes, take a topic, give your answer, get updated version, structured version, read it out loud, pick up vocabularies from that, and practice your speech. Now, if you do that for 7 days, you can see a drastic change in your thinking pattern. Because instead of thinking randomly, your brain will start thinking in structure. Okay, what's my first point? Core message is the first point. My core message is do not jump to conclusion. Analyze what's the root cause. And then I have to give them the key points. Key points, if we analyze the root cause, we might come up with these possible problems. And then give the solution. If these are the problems, here is my solution. And then to reiterate the main point, which is do not put into any action, invest anything without understanding what is actually the problem. Now your brain will start thinking in structure. Just because you're speaking with ChatGPT, you will naturally adapt a lot of vocabulary. So after the 7-day practice, when you speak in a meeting, you will feel a lot more confident because you know how to structure your thoughts. You know what to share first and what to share next. And you also know how to share it. And I believe this one practice will take your speech to the next level, give you more confidence, and make you visible in the meeting.